The first British person to contract Ebola since the outbreak in West Africa has just been discharged from this northwest London hospital, bringing you the latest developments next.
Plus, could this £1 billion cycle superhighway be the answer to some of London's biking problems? Plans for the 18-mile route have been unveiled. Fancy making thousands of pounds in a second? Well, that's what some of Britain's top viners are getting. We're talking to one with tips on how to become a social media star. The London Urban Film Festival kicks off this week, and we'll be talking to the director of this opening film. Now, as you've heard, William Pooley, the British nurse who contracted Ebola while helping victims in West Africa, has been discharged from hospital. He'd been treated in a special isolation unit at the Royal Free Hospital in northwest London, and our reporter Reya El-Salahi is there for us now. So, Reya, he's now discharged and better.
He is indeed. William Pooley, who, as you know, was admitted to this hospital 10 days ago, the 29-year-old nurse infected with Ebola whilst working in Sierra Leone. He spent over a week in the UK's only high-level isolation unit, and now he's virus-free, according to the doctor who's been treating him. This morning, the hospital held a press conference in which Mr. Pooley spoke about the level of care, professionalism and kindness he'd received. And the doctor, Dr. Michael Jacobs, he's the infectious diseases consultant who's been treating him, confirmed that Mr. Pooley is cured.
It's been a very intense experience, as I'm sure you can imagine, working in our special facility for looking after Will, our high-level isolation unit. But of course, we're so thrilled by the outcome and Will's fantastic recovery.
Considering the death rate, how lucky is Will?
It runs a very variable course, this disease, and of course he's lucky to have survived it in the sense of we know it's taking a terrible toll in West Africa.
How does this case compare to previous ones that you've dealt with?
Well, this is the first case of Ebola virus disease that we've looked after in the United Kingdom, but we've looked after similar infections. At any time in the world, there are these dangerous viruses circulating, and rarely they're imported into the United Kingdom. And we are the special unit as part of the NHS to look after patients with these infections. We're here every day, 24 hours a day, exactly ready for this eventuality.
What risk does Will now pose to Londoners, considering that he's leaving the hospital today?
So Will has recovered completely from his infection, and we know that people who have recovered pose absolutely no risk to the wider community. He's not infectious to other people, and we even measure the virus in the blood, and we know that the virus has gone away. So there need be no cause for concern whatsoever.
Mr. Pooley looked tired but generally well in the press conference this morning, and despite what he's been through, said he had no regrets about going to West Africa. However, perhaps understandably, has no plans to go back. When asked what the worst thing about this whole experience has been for him, Mr. Pooley answered telling his mum that he'd contracted the disease as he didn't want to upset her.
Listen, thanks so much for that, Reya. That's Reya El-Salahi at the Royal Free Hospital in northwest London.